Well, good day all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for the evening as we're at November 8th, Election Day, just after 6:55 p.m. Central Time. You know, I've been putting up an awful lot more of the symbols of stocks and the different ones. I've got two metas here, my mistake, I'll point it out. You don't have to write me about it, I see it. And I'm going to get a semblance of order in them all so that I've got things together and it's easier for me to point to. But you know, unlike the futures where I have to put up these many, there's just so many different stocks and spiders, ETFs, you just got to have a lot more on the board. Now, Disney's earnings came out after the close and the market hated what it saw. It's down about 6% in the market at this point. Meta came up a bit here as they're laying off tomorrow, supposedly a lot of people. We'll see what goes on. You know the election is tonight. Results are starting to pour in, and they'll do so all night long into tomorrow, and there'll be lawsuits. You can count on it, okay? We're litigious. We'll find reasons, or states will find reasons to run to the court to have a ballot that wasn't signed with the right date, as an example, counted. The intent was there, but what does it matter if the date's not right? You're going to hear those stories. I don't know what's the right side of the argument. Don't pretend that I do. Here's what I do know. The market is expecting a red wave, and it has been rallying off of that. If they don't get it, it'll be great disappointment. If they get it, I want to go on record that I think President Biden, if they get a sweep, both houses, I think that's it for President Biden. I think he'll be pressured to, behind the scenes, not run again. He didn't carry then the party parts that he had to, and what's going to happen for him in the election. That's my own guess. I know it's a big move, but it's an interesting one, and I thought that out, and I'm pretty comfortable. I've read about it and other people saying it, why they said it, and I'm of the same camp. However, if he wins either house, keeps it in other words, that changes that. Because he proved he can beat Trump. Pretty simple. So that changes the whole equation. I think tonight's real important because of that. Now you got something even more important. This is going to come and go, and whoever's going to win next year, okay? And we can debate between now and then how it's all going to get tied up until President Biden's term runs out. Will he run again? Blah, blah, blah. All right. But what won't change is the Fed. And what's going to happen is we get the CPI number on Thursday. Is it going to be super hot? Is it going to be finally the number that says, since we've gotten all these rate hikes and we've gone up from nearly 0 to 3.5%, 4%, we are there to the point where it's starting to show CPI falling? Or is CPI going to come in stubborn, stick, or what? Go up? Goes up. You got a 75 basis point hike probability again for December that'll jump right away. Doesn't mean it'll happen because you get another set of CPI in December before the next FOMC meeting. But if you get a weak one here, it really opens the door to start weakening things, and maybe we have a whole different game plan that starts happening as we go into December where the Fed gets easier. Well, that would certainly be friendly to the U.S. economy, or very bearish it if the Fed has to keep going. This is a big week. Between the election and that, danger, real danger. When I look at LIT, you can see how the market backed in, filled some gaps here. It's continuing to reach up. Now, how high? When we come there, we see that the market's reached up. The swing line is not in a trend. You got a lower low, higher high. You are up at key resistance. You just hit the 200-day moving average of closes. That's an important number, big time number. So I'm not convinced you're just going to pick up and run from this. In addition, you're over the upper Bollinger Band. Folks, when you're over a Bollinger Band, you only stay over the band 5% of the time. I have a way that I teach in my charting course, and I do it here from time to time, and it explains you each successive close you can count as one of those days. But how many days did you do? Well, yesterday the market finished at 70.90, the Bollinger Band 70.86. You were certainly over it, and you were over it here. So you have 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and you're up to that number. You have a 2% chance tomorrow of staying over the Bollinger Band. Doesn't mean the band can't go higher, but the market's going to go to the right of it in the next day or two, is what my work typically says. Is that bearish? No. That means, to me, you're not a buyer up there. That's what I teach. You're waiting, if you want to be long, for another set of numbers. And then I look to see, are you overbought? So it's a combination of slow stochastics, overbought, oversold, or embedded with that. Tricky and fun, easy to learn, and the way my work goes, it's really simple. I think the pros took money off the table today. Meta. If you lose the embedded reading with the close over 21, I think you have to be out of short positions. If the market starts diving from here and keeps that, why not take out this low? You're at a crucial number right here, right now. It's exactly what I teach in the combination of the enhanced course with the slow stochastic. Apple. Apple's still bearish. What's going to make this go up? Foxconn is desperate in China. They're offering raises. People come back to work and people are running. This zero COVID policy, it's not for human beings. It makes no sense. All right, there's got to be a better way to do it, and China doesn't want to listen. That's their right. The problem is, and Apple's seeing it, they can't overcome it. And they keep lowering their earning projections going into Christmas. This is not good. Not good at all. Then Disney, you only see it down here 0.53%. I'm telling you, it's down another $6, so that's going to kick this market. You're opening the door for the potential of the lower band at 94.77, where I think the pros will jump and get out of short positions if given that opportunity. Trend down, bias down, but getting oversold, that's the target. We'll see if it can make it. XLF, okay, overbought, coming into big time resistance. Again, learn the Bollinger Band with this. When you tie, first time you might hit a 200-day average. First time you're going to hit that potentially tomorrow with a Bollinger Band and not embedded, problems. Can we embed? Okay. Both numbers today closed over 80. Yesterday, both were over 80. That's 2 days in a row. They weren't that way Friday. Tomorrow's a crucial day. If it gets there and embeds, it tells me that the pros, they'll still come out, I believe, up there, but they'll then start buying on the breaks until they lose that reading. XLI, here's an embedded reading. I think the pros will buy the breaks until the red line closes under 79. But there's a way to do it. And you've got to learn the technique, all right? The technique has certain, I don't do it based on this, I do it based on that. The overall thing says buy, but you have to see what the market does intraday, and that's the crucial part, and I won't teach that here. In the semiconductors, you're back up to the key resistance. Didn't we just hear how these guys were all dead and dying and not going anywhere? Well, NVIDIA has come up, and smart company. And they created a chip for their games that meets the U.S. compliance for China. Keep the game going. And the markets looked at that, I think in part, and said, okay, we're still in good shape. Other chip companies are saying business is good. And I want to hear that. We need to finish all those cars and lots that are waiting for chips. How many appliance makers, be it big refrigerators, stoves, they all use chips. Get them the chips they need. There's still plenty to be done. Home builders, okay, I'm lost with this one. We need more homes, can't afford the new homes, right? You might want to pay a 7% mortgage. I don't want to. Variable rate's going to be the way they go. I told you a long time ago that if you go back when interest rates were real high, it was variable rates. And then they start coming out and they go, you know something, John, you get one from me. A year from now, if you have to refinance it, I'm not going to charge my fees. If you can get the benefit of that, I'll waive them. That was the game. Wait. You're going to see those ads run, and those guys come right back, okay? Nothing changes. It's just the name and the face of the guy changes. The game stays the same. Energy sector. I have been bullish this in my subscriber video all the way through. It continues to gain. I'm happy. But I'm getting concerned that it's unable to reach up to the upper band. So there's a window envelope you got to look at on that. And tomorrow we'll be looking at that hard. In GLD, this market surprised me with the big jump that it had, and so did all the other parts to it, SLV. But now you're up to where I think the market, bye-bye. I think the smart money's waving. Thank you. Thank you. You made my whole play here, because the 200-day average, along with the Bollinger Band, pros like to run. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. Copper, how many days do you have now over that band? Typically, you don't go more than 5. So you're stretching it. But let me tell you what's amazing here. Even with all the lockdown in China, and they consume 50% of the production of copper a year. I got to break the news to you guys. This market's not acting like China's staying in that COVID. Something else is brewing here. TLT. Do you really want to go into that CPI number? Same with BND. I wouldn't do that. Now, you get to the dollar. Do you want to be short or long the dollar into the CPI number? I want neither. I think the pros are coming out right down here, and I think they'll flip-flop out of the FXE the same way. But you're at Bollinger Bands, you're at the 100-day average, and you got the stochastic. There's a way to play that. And you want to be mechanical in your approach to it. You don't want to get caught with the emotion of the day. You want to get more mechanical and understand why you're becoming mechanical. I teach that to you in 13 video chapters. I give you the charting software. I give you access to all my research so that you can see it and learn it over a 2-week period. You'll finish the course in 1 or 2 days. And it just keeps developing, and you're watching what I'm talking about each morning. And I promise, people write me, they go, there's a light. It made a big difference in my trading. I can't believe that now I'm not caught with that emotion. I see, is the other guy's getting bullish? I'm saying, no, I think the smart money's going to take money off the table one way or the other. Or no, they're saying it's overbought. My work's saying, no, you keep either buying or it's oversold. No, my work's saying you keep selling on it. It's going to show you those techniques. Take a look at this, enjoy, and learn. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all 3 of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.